Hi, my name is Elaine Petrucci. Welcome to Caregiver Cast. My guest speaker today is Jackie Maclean, and she will be talking to us about emotional intelligence and the power within. And before I formally introduce Jackie, I'll give you some background about her. Life is luminous. Self-revitalization expert Jackie Maclean is no stranger to the ongoing anxiety and overwhelm of running a business while feeling overlooked and unfulfilled. That was until she discovered the truth. The only thing holding you back from the incredible, limitless life you deserve is you. Using a proven blend of intuitive guidance and clinical hypnotherapy, this compassionate thought leader supports you in moving from obsolete self-beliefs and debilitating behaviors to essentially rediscover the gifted, dynamic being you really are. Thereby liberated to step into your purpose, you can fully embrace your personal power and create that life you have always imagined, the life of your dreams. Jackie Maclean's business name says it all. Success, wealth, health, happiness, and so much more. It's all yours when you tap into the power within. Welcome to Caregiver Cast, Jackie. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous, Mary Elaine. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really honored to be here.
I'm so glad that you have our guest speaker today because we're going to learn a lot from you.
Yeah.
So I will let you take over.
So I have a couple of questions for your audience. How many of you would love to wake up ready and eager to tackle anything that comes your way? Raise your hands because I can see it. And how many of you would like to gain more clarity, focus for longer periods of time, and accomplish more in your workday? If you've raised your hands, and I know you have, you're definitely in the right place. I'm excited to share my 7-minute productivity enhancer that's going to help you remove stress and overwhelm, to increase your focus, enhance your productivity in just 7 minutes a day. You'll be surprised. So who wants that? Raise your hand.
I do. I mean, anything focus me for 7 minutes, I'll do it.
Yeah, of course. And first, how many of you think that hypnosis is just a bunch of hooey? I know you're not going to put your hand up, and I bet some of you are thinking that. And that's okay. Because you know what? I did too. And honestly, when I look back all those years, there's no way I could have predicted that this is what I'll be doing today. As we've all experienced, life has a way of pushing us and shoving us around. Mm-hmm. It was 27 years ago. I had just moved to Canada from Dubai with my 4 children. Soon after, there was a breakdown in my marriage. My husband left me for a beautiful woman half my age. I was in complete shock. Oh, my self-esteem plummeted. I was stressed out, overwhelmed, frustrated, worried. How was I going to feed my family, pay the bills, continue to keep a roof over us? I finally sought help. I learned to finally ask for help. I tried everything, Mary Elaine. I tried meditation. I did visualization. I read self-help books. I went for counseling. None of them worked. I was frustrated because nothing helped. Until someone mentioned hypnosis. And at first I thought, you got to be kidding me. And since I had tried everything and my back was against the wall, in desperation, I said yes. And gosh, it was the best thing that ever happened. It was a turning point in my life because after that, things started shifting and changing very quickly. the results I got were incredible. I was more calm. I was sleeping better. My confidence improved when I was out networking, communicating with people, especially prospects. And that's why I do what I do. It worked for me. It helped me tremendously. And I continue to see it work for hundreds and hundreds of my clients over these past 16 years. Today, I'm really excited to see my clients achieve amazing results very quickly. Some people come to me when they are trying to stop a destructive habit, stop drinking too much alcohol or gambling, addicted to the phone, the internet, all those things that are bad for you. Most people come to me to improve their productivity, increase their performance, really elevate themselves to the very best version of themselves. And those who come to me are people who are striving for more. They're the real go-getters. They want to accelerate their success. They want more. They want different. They want better. So that was my story, Mary Elaine.
Oh my goodness, Jackie, oh my gosh, I was sitting there trying to imagine the horror that you went through and trying to deal with divorce and 4 children and trying to figure out what you were going to be doing. That is really an incredible story, and how you went from thinking hypnosis was woohoo to actually seeing it work in your life and then helping other people. So whom will this information or hypnotherapy really benefit?
So Mary Elaine, this talk is if you're fed up feeling overwhelmed, stressed to the point that your productivity and performance is diminishing. If you wake up and the first thing you feel is dread, even before you get out of bed, right? If you're tired, exhausted, irritable all the time, if you're feeling more easily frustrated, if you're less tolerant, like can't handle the day-to-day challenges as well as you like. So this is really for those who experience this.
Oh my gosh, that sounds like a complete description of what a caregiver goes
Yes.
through every day,
Yeah.
Being stressed, overwhelmed, being on that stress, fight or flight or freeze, and then not being really productive in their caregiving duties and responsibilities because they're so wound up.
Yeah.
Tell me more about what we're expected to learn from you today about productivity for caregivers to make them more efficient.
So thank you. Today we're going to cover 3 things. The first is a simple technique that will help you relieve stress in 3 minutes or less so that you can have more clarity and accomplish more. You will be surprised.
Okay,
Second,
I'm also going to try.
Second, I'm also going to show you the power of focus. Because when you focus, you will gain a lot more clarity, accomplish a lot more during the day. This will increase your confidence. You'll feel more in control of your life. And the third, a simple daily practice that will help you increase your mental capacity, keep you calm under pressure. And I'm sure caregivers require that, to be calm under pressure.
Oh, most definitely. It's hard to be calm and productive when there's an emergency and you have to deal with whatever is going on in front of you. So you're escalating your behavior because you're not focused.
Yeah. So for all those who will be listening to this, thank you for showing up. I'm really excited you're going to be listening to this conversation because you'll get a lot of value. You've invested time to be here. So this is how you will get the most value from our time together. When you listen to this, I'm going to ask that you show up fully. And what that looks like is you will remove all distractions. So please grab your phone and turn it off. I want you to participate fully. And should you have any questions, please feel to connect with me through my website. Okay. And I have one more thing. I promise that in the remaining time we have together, I'm going to provide you with incredible, valuable information that's going to make a big, huge impact in your world. I know without doubt that many of you are going to come away with some really cool techniques that you're going to be able to apply to your life going forward and to apply it right away. You'll get great results. And I also know that some of you high performers who really want to up-level your results will want additional help and support. And before we wrap up, I promise I'll take a few minutes to share with you how you can get some additional support to really elevate your success. Is that okay?
Oh, definitely. I'm ready.
Wonderful. Okay. Yeah. So let's get started. So in my experience, here are the 3 biggest challenges people have that are absolutely killing their productivity. 1, they're stressed, they're overwhelmed most of the time. 2, because they're stressed and overwhelmed, they don't focus. And because they can't focus, they're not productive. They don't perform to their full potential. And 3, they have no clarity on how to move forward in their career and in their life. So let's be honest. How many of you are totally stressed, overwhelmed, juggling too many balls, exhausted by the end of the day? Get home from work, tired and exhausted. Then you feel frustrated, irritable, intolerant of your spouse, the children. And the day is not over yet. You still have to prepare dinner, shuttle the kids to hockey, soccer. You feel angst building up in your body. You know what? I know, because this was me for a long, long time. Many of us wake up dreading the day. Then we get caught up in the loop, right? It's rampant in the marketplace. Everyone has some version of this. And we can force ourselves to get out of bed every day. We can run on that treadmill as fast as we can. But ultimately, we are on a path to destruction, a path to crash and burn. Would you agree, Mary Elaine?
Yes, most definitely. I felt that spinning when I was caregiving, most definitely.
And that's exactly where one of my clients, Fred, was. You know, Fred had just started his business. He was totally stressed out. He was a solopreneur. He lacked business experience. He was so scattered. Gosh, he was all over the place. Like so many of us. Would you agree? He was wearing all the hats, everything from accountant to salesperson to delivery guy to taking the garbage out. He got to the point that he was just running in circles, not getting anything done. Deadbeat, exhausted by the end of the day. So how many of you feel exhausted by the end of the day? Just like Fred, I'm sure many of the listeners are putting their hands up, right? You know, he couldn't focus on bringing in new clients. His business was suffering. He was nasty to his wife, yelling at his young kids, on the verge of smacking them. It seemed like he had no tolerance or patience for them anymore. And because Fred did not know how to manage his stress and deal with all those balls he was juggling, he used to spend his evenings downing those 6-packs and then crashing on the couch. How many of us are familiar with those 6-packs?
Okay, I agree with most of that. I don't drink, so but I get the picture.
Yeah. Right. So those, you know, in Fred's situation, those daily 6-packs resulted in him putting on an additional 35 pounds, which made him feel sluggish and lethargic. He soon came to the realization that stress and overwhelm was killing his money-making ability, costing him thousands of dollars in lost revenue, costing his relationship, costing him his health. How many of us are in that spot, right? So when Fred and I started working together, the first thing I did was sit him down and I taught him how to relax. I taught him the school easy to use stress crusher exercise, which I will share with you. In fact, it's the first phase of the 7-minute productivity enhancer that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to walk you through this entire process. There are 3 phases to the 7-minute productivity enhancer. We start with the first phase, the stress crusher exercise. It's a breathing technique. I call it the Pico Pico, the power breath. So the Pico Pico will help you let go of all that stress you've been holding on to your body, right? Give you more clarity so you can accomplish more in your day. So before we begin, let's take a moment and think about what's going on in your world. How many deadlines have you missed this week? How many balls are you juggling today? And if you feel a little panic when you woke up this morning?
Yeah.
Anyone?
Yes.
Anyone had a?
Yes.
Yeah.
I look at like all the meetings that I have to go to, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I feel like a ping pong ball.
Yeah. Anyone had a fight with your spouse or your partner? Maybe you're thinking about the bills you need to pay, perhaps a little cash short this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are always talking about how stressed we are, how many deadlines we have, all the things in the world. We have the attention span of a goldfish. We have information coming at us all the time from all directions,
Mm-hmm.
right? We get addicted to Facebook, threading through the feed. The world has sped up. And all these additional layers and layers, we've gotten so kind of hardened to them that we don't even experience them anymore. We're not even aware. We are a frog in the water. It's getting hotter and hotter. It's boiling, and we don't know enough to jump out because we are just so accustomed to it.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes norm that we multitask. Would you agree, Mary Elaine?
Oh, most definitely. I think you just get on autopilot that you don't even realize that you should be jumping out of the pot.
Yeah. We just keep adding more and more to our already overflowing plate.
Mm-hmm.
The crisis in today's world, that we don't know how overwhelmed we are, how overstimulated we are. And that has an impact on our relationships, our health, our finances.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, it's our ability to focus and to de-stress that's important. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, how stressed are you today? Give me a number. In fact, make a mental note of that. On a scale of 0 to 10, 10 being the highest, how stressed are you today? And make a mental note of that today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with the stress crusher buster. And all you have to do is simply follow my instructions. So make yourself as comfortable as possible. Go ahead and close your eyes and take in a nice deep breath. And as you do, take in this deep breath, deep from the belly. Put your focus on the crown, the top of your head. Hold for a count of 4. Opening the mouth slightly. Focusing on the navel, the belly button. Breathing in deep from the belly. Putting the focus on the crown, the top of the head. Hold. Opening the mouth slightly. Focusing on the navel. Breathing in. Holding. And exhale. Nice deep breath, deep from the belly. Putting the focus on the crown, the top of the head, holding. Opening the mouth slightly. focusing on the navel. And now, eyes open. So how is that for you, Mary Elaine?
Oh my gosh, I feel so much more relaxed.
By how much did the number drop?
7 points.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, I know.
That's a wowzer, right? So all of you listening, by how much did your number drop? I'm pretty certain it's significant. So, and that was way under 3 minutes. Way under 3 minutes. So now that those stress levels have dropped significantly for many of you, do you realize how crucial it is that we bring our stress down to manageable levels? Because if we don't, we're just crushing our productivity. We're crushing our joy in life. When we're in that constant state of stress and overwhelm, we're not productive anymore. How can we be? How can we be? How can we get ahead in life when we are overwhelmed and can't focus? By the way, Fred's result was similar to some of you, right? He loved this exercise so much that he created a daily practice, something he did every morning before he started work. And he found that it helped him be more productive, more effective, and happier in his workday. So remember, anytime you feel stress, you can do this exercise again to bring your stress levels down quickly. You can do it in the car, you can do it in the washroom. So please keep this in mind. This is a tool that you can put into your daily routine, just like Fred did, to get similar results. And then you can go back to work, handle those angry clients or those big challenges, those problems that you're faced with. Remember, it's a practice, a daily practice, just like meditation or journaling. You have to continue to practice it daily. In fact, go ahead and write this down. It's very important. Okay. When I'm stressed, I will take a short break and practice the simple exercise Jackie taught me. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. I love the name of the exercise. So yes, you're crushing the stress. I love it.
The stress crusher. Yeah.
Yeah, the stress crusher. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So now let's move to the second phase. The second phase of the 7-minute productivity enhancer is the countdown. The countdown will help you come back to center, bring more calm to your body. When you're calm, you're more capable of taking on all the challenges that come your way. You'll be able to deeply focus. Just like my client, Mary. Mary was in a very similar situation to Fred. Single mom, 3 young kids. She was a mess when she came to see me. And although highly intelligent and confident in her work as an RN, her internal nervousness and anxiety caused her to constantly be biting her nails. So very much like stress, like Fred, stress wasn't the only thing that Mary needed to work on. She was also challenged with focus. And although much less stressed because of her daily practice of the stress crusher technique I taught her, she was still all over the place, still really scattered. So during our work together, I helped her narrow down and lock in her focus. And this is an important piece of work I do with all of my clients, Mary Elaine. Because focusing is a key piece in today's busy, frantic world. In fact, this is the important first step I help my clients with before starting on the deeper work that brings them the true transformation they're looking for. You know, Mary Elaine, you and I know, and the audience as well. In today's world, we have so many things pulling at us, right? In fact, go ahead and make a quick note for yourself. Take a moment now and jot down all the things you need to do today.
We could be here forever, Jackie, for me.
Yes. It's a long list, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So how do we manage all of this? How do we focus on what's important? You know, how many of you sometimes feel like you just can't juggle anymore? How many of you feel like you're tapped out? You just don't have the bandwidth to handle one more problem. And so when something out of the blue shows up, you have a breakdown, you have a meltdown because you can't cope anymore. Have you ever felt stressed or overwhelmed? You just can't focus, don't have the clarity. And when you're stressed and overwhelmed, you can't focus, you don't have the clarity. Guess what? Your productivity goes out the window. You're irritable, you become short-tempered, and you find yourself in this diminishing circle of frustration and angst that you never want to get out of bed. Right?
Definitely. That sounds like a caregiver who has been doing it for a long time with little or no support. Yes.
Yeah. So let's nip that in the bud right now. Let me guide you through the countdown exercise. This is the second phase, the countdown.
Okay.
So once again, go ahead, make yourself as comfortable as possible. And feel free to close your eyes, provided you're in a safe place, of course. And simply following my instructions, taking a nice deep breath, deep from the belly, putting the focus on the crown, the top of the head, holding, opening the mouth slightly, focusing on the navel. Breathing in, holding, and exhale. Breathing in deep from the belly, putting the focus on the crown, the top of the head, hold. Opening the mouth slightly, focusing on the navel. And now, in your mind, count from 10 down to 1. And between each number, say deeper, relaxed. 10, deeper, relaxed. 9, deeper, relaxed. 8, deeper, relaxed. 7, deeper, relaxed. 6, deeper, relaxed. 5, deeper, relaxed. 4, deeper, relaxed. 3, deeper, relaxed. 2, deeper, relaxed. 1, deeper, relaxed. And welcome, welcome back. Welcome back.
That's amazing,
So,
Jackie.
isn't it?
Oh, my word.
How much more calmer do you feel, Mary Elaine?
Oh, so much more calm than I was before we did that exercise.
Yeah. And that was less than 2 minutes. That was less than 2 minutes.
Okay, we're up to 5 minutes now. Okay.
Yeah.
4.5, 5 minutes.
Yeah. So to the audience, I want you to go within and ask yourself, how much more calmer do I feel? Am I worth it to invest this time in myself? And please write to me. I'd like to know how much more calmer you feel after practicing this countdown exercise. You know, Mary Elaine, it brings me so much joy when I think of my client, Nick. From where he was when he first came to see me to the completely transformed person he is today. This young man in his mid-40s, running a successful business, hired people, lots of employees. However, he was so stressed out, always found himself putting out fires. He was running ragged. And although Nick's wife is a partner in his business, due to his stress and overwhelm, they couldn't see eye to eye and they started arguing. In his burst of anger, Nick would leave the conversation, pick up his cigarettes, go pour himself a drink. Next, he would raid the fridge, all the healthy eating habits out the window. And this became a daily occurrence in Nick's household. You know, arguments with his wife and daughters, leading to smoking and drinking, to unhealthy snacking. In frustration and exhaustion, he crashed every night, woke up exhausted, very similar to Fred's behavior. So anyone else feel like Nick or Fred or Mary?
Yes, definitely. I think caregivers would fit in all those categories.
Yeah. So when Nick came to see me, he didn't believe that hypnosis was going to be the answer. However, like me, he too had tried everything. He had tried counseling. He had tried the gum and the patch to quit smoking. And during our first session, I did the stress crusher exercise. And it completely unplugged him from all the stress and franticness that was happening in his life. Shortly thereafter, after our work together, he ditched his cigarettes and his wine. And as we progressed with the deep inner work, which is so key for true transformation, Nick was a completely changed person. He was having loving conversations with his wife. And his teenage daughters were no longer avoiding their dad like they were.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear that this works.
Yeah. So he was back to giving his employees, his customers, the attention they needed. And naturally, his business started bringing in even more revenue than before. So with that, Mary Elaine, let's move to the third phase, the progressive relaxation. So once again, make yourself as comfortable as possible with your feet flat on the floor. Go ahead and close your eyes and simply follow my instructions. So breathing in deep from the belly, putting the focus on the crown, the top of the head, hold and exhale. Breathing in deep from the belly, putting the focus on the crown, the top of the head, hold and exhale. Nice deep breath. Hold and exhale. Now, in your imagination, I would like you to focus on your right foot. Keep focusing on your right foot. And as you keep focusing on your right foot, giving it all of your attention, notice how it feels like it's growing heavier and heavier. It feels like a very heavy steel bar. It feels like it weighs 100 pounds, so heavy. It feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Oh, so heavy. For a quick moment, put your attention on the left foot and move the toes of the left foot for me. Back to the right foot now that feels so heavy. And because it feels so heavy, because it feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds, 10,000 pounds, just notice that you won't be able to move the right foot, even if you try to. Give it a quick try if you wish. Take it a nice deep breath and come back to this time and this place.
Oh my goodness, Jackie.
Isn't that
I
phenomenal?
couldn't get my right foot off the floor.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that absolutely phenomenal?
Yes. Oh my gosh, that is amazing that you can spend 7 minutes doing that stress crusher and that countdown and this last one. Oh my goodness gracious, that works so well.
So here are 2 things that have just happened, Mary Elaine. Okay. First, not being able to move your foot proves to you how highly suggestible you are. And this is great news because it means that you can be hypnotized and easily accept all of those positive suggestions. It could be letting go of unsupportive habits. It could be overcoming habits that keep you stuck. It could be seeing yourself at your ideal shape, your ideal size, your ideal weight.
Mm-hmm.
How fabulous is that? That's the power of hypnosis. Remember, each of us creates our reality. So the question is, what reality are you choosing to create? So who wants this?
Oh, I want more, Jackie. I want more. Oh my goodness, that. Woo.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
the second thing is that those who carefully followed my instructions and couldn't move their foot, it was because they intently focused on it. This is the power of focus. When you intently focus on a task at hand, all distractions are out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And you can accomplish things so much faster. Isn't this absolutely phenomenal, Mary Elaine?
Oh my gosh, it is just amazing, overwhelming that you can change so quickly, change your situation and your mindset so quickly that you can be a more effective caregiver and be more focused on the person you're caring for.
Yeah.
Wow. Amazing, Jackie.
So these 3 phases put together make up the 7-minute productivity enhancer. And practicing these simple techniques will help you be more productive and effective in your day. You know, when we are more present, we're not just balancing work and family life, we are also balancing our own personal needs.
Mm-hmm.
When we think of life, it's often family, our work, our commitments to them. But what about ourselves? Anyone here puts themselves and their needs last all the time? I'm pretty sure many of you will raise your hands to that.
Yes.
That was me
That's so true.
for years, right?
For caregivers, yes, definitely.
So there's really 3 places that we need to bring balance to. Our work, that's 1. Our family and friends, those commitments and obligations, that's 2.
Mm-hmm.
And 3, and most importantly, ourselves. So the 7-minute productivity enhancer is basically bringing you back to your balance. However, if you really want to have long-term effects and lasting change, we've got to do the deeper work. When you take this amazing first step, in just 7 minutes, you can center your world, you can calm down, you can increase your bandwidth, your focus, your ability to handle more. You know, I had initially put this together for myself. I used it, I noticed incredible changes. And also my clients who do this, they notice incredible changes. And that's why I wanted to share this with you. And practicing these techniques consistently will help you reduce stress, reduce overwhelm, increase your productivity, your focus, your clarity. However, this isn't the end all and be all. This is just the starting point. Now that you can see how useful these simple techniques are, you can make this part of your daily routine. And this will give you small doses of instant relief, as you've seen, in less than 2 minutes, in less than 3 minutes, right? Yet, this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's still the bigger problem that hasn't left. You know, the deeper underlying issues must be taken care of if you truly want to make lasting change. This tool, this cool tool that I've shared, you can use it at any time. It'll certainly help with daily stresses at home, at work. And let's be honest, let's face it, there's still way more work to be done. You know, the 7-minute productivity enhancer is great to use when you're overwhelmed. You know, when you go back to work or even at home, because you're more calm and present and have mental clarity, you can now handle those frustrated, angry clients more easily. At home, when your young children or teenagers are cranky and they're hungry, you can deal with them with kindness and gentleness rather than barking and screaming at them. You know, I know because I used to be one of those screaming moms.
It's kind of hard for me to see that, Jackie, but I understand the stress that you are under. So
yeah. So, and you know, this is only skimming the surface. Like they say, life happens. Question is, how will you cope with the ups and downs life throws at you? And so now that you've learned a lot about how stress impacts your life in so many negative ways, and I've also shared with you this amazing technique, the 7-minute productivity enhancer. Just imagine if you were to 10x that state of calm and centeredness. You know, there are so many ways we get triggered. Imagine if you were not triggered anymore. How would your life be? Would you have more harmony in your life? How would it impact your relationship? What if you reduced your stress on a permanent basis, not just for an afternoon or a couple of hours, but be able to truly do the work necessary to unplug, that you don't have to go to those places anymore? How would you feel if you were never frustrated anymore, if nothing triggered you? Or if you didn't have those bad habits of shopping or drinking or emotional eating? All those unproductive, those bad habits, what if they were permanently removed? The 7-minute productivity enhancer is fabulous. It's a stopgap in the moment to help you find more center, find more calm, so that you're more adept at handling life's crisis. And yet, this is the tip of the iceberg, just scratching the surface. If you want permanent relief, you've got to do the deeper work. You've got to get to the root that's causing you to still hang on to those bad habits. So what would your life look like if you were no longer triggered or frustrated by traffic? Imagine that.
oh, would that be wonderful?
Yeah. Or if you were not wasting hours and hours on Netflix, not wasting money on drinking or gambling. What would you do with that extra money? What would you do with your extra time? How would not being angry with the kids impact your relationships? Would you be more confident, have more control of your life? No undue stress, no distractions, focus on things. Or perhaps feel more bonded to your partner. Like, what would it be worth to you if you got out of bed excited about the day, never dreaded the day? So let's be honest, let's face it, deep down, you know what's possible. That you can have the lifestyle you want and you deserve. And honestly, both you and I know you're not there yet. Why? Because nothing's really changed. We've heard this before. If nothing changes, nothing changes. all this information about how stress impacts your life in a negative way, which leads to more cases, in most cases, to negative habits. All this information about the simple exercises I've taught you are very useful. They're very valuable. And yet, without implementation, it's useless. It's a waste of time. Would you agree, Mary Elaine?
Most definitely. I would agree. This is just the tip of the iceberg. They need to do some more deeper work with you, correct?
Yes.
So how could people do that?
So ask yourself, why hasn't this worked for me? Am I seeking help in the wrong places? Did I think I could do this on my own? How much longer are you willing to be in the pain? How much longer are you willing to remain the same? Right? And the fact is, the reality is, your world hasn't really changed in the last hour. The same triggers are going to be back. They're going to come back, the same of the too muches, too much eating, too much shopping, too much drinking, too much Netflixing. All of those things are too there. So, the uncomfortable truth is it takes work and effort and structure and guidance and a plan to make long-lasting change. And I'm all about long-lasting change. So earlier I had mentioned that many of you are going to want additional support. I promised I would take a few minutes and share with you how you can get that. So I have a very special invitation for those of you who experience stress, those of you who procrastinate. So my invitation is to book a clarity call with me. It's private, it's confidential, it's complimentary. And during the call, we'll uncover three things. We'll identify the biggest stumbling blocks that are keeping you from living a joyful life. Two, you'll understand where you're stuck, what's holding you back. And three, you'll get more clarity on what the issues are. We'll come up with the plan and the next steps you can take. So I have limited openings in my calendar, and I have a link to my calendar, or if you have any questions, please direct them to me through my website, www.thepowerwithin.ca. My clients, Fred and Mary and Nick and hundreds of others, have transformed their lives very quickly. And here's why. It's because they access their power within. To shift and change wasn't serving them. And just like Fred and Mary and Nick, you too can access your power within so you can live a joyful life. And I always like to finish with one of my favorite quotes that inspires me to take action. Action takers are money makers. So thank you for spending time with us today. I really look forward to connecting with each of you privately. I'll now hand it back to you, Mary Elaine, and thank you so much for this opportunity to share.
Oh my gosh, Jackie. This has been an amazing session, doing that 7-minute productivity exercise. It's been brilliant. And I would highly recommend that all our listeners book that complimentary call with you, or go to your website, thepowerwithin.com.
.ca.
Oh, .ca, thank you. I'm mixing up countries here. Okay, thepowerwithin.ca, and just connect with Jackie. She is amazing in what she does, and you will be truly gifted by the transformation she will walk you through. Jackie, thank you so much for being here today. And thank you for bringing your wisdom, your enthusiasm, your passion to what you do. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, my honor. Thank you.